Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good to see everyone. Welcome to the Joe Cosentino show. Thank you. I have one fan. No, this is Council Connections, and we have a special guest star who we all know, Matt Romer, our athletic director, on his 1 year anniversary. And I'm going to ask him some very personal questions. I'm going to ask him some questions. And then we can have questions from the audience. So if you have questions, hang on, because we will get to the audience as well. Okay. So, Matt, we have something in common. We both come from Dutchess Community College. Yeah. I taught speech and theater and was arts department chair. And Matt is a graduate of the Exercise Science and Wellness degree program, which is a terrific program. So how did that program prepare you for this position with all of us here at Woodland Pond?
First, I want to say thank you for having me here today. This is a lot different than teaching a class. So I did go to Dutchess. I majored in exercise science and wellness. I feel like going there has really helped me become the person I am today and helped me, I feel like I've been successful here so far. So I took a lot from Dutchess. I feel like one thing it helped me do was help, design and implement, safe and effective workouts for you guys. And also help me improve my communication skills, which is super important for, this line of work. And just, being able to have, interactions with, the residents, the clients and whatnot. It also, I would say, early in high school and middle school, I used to be really shy and quiet. So if you had asked me if I would get up in front of a group and teach a class, I would say no. So, going to Dutchess through the, exercise science program, you do a lot of, presentations and labs and working one-on-one with the professors and students. So, that helped me, open up and, be more confident and, shape me into being who I am. So I would definitely recommend, Dutchess to, others and, the program. So.
Yeah. As a faculty member, I had a student, it wasn't Matt, but I had a student personal trainer there, which is how I got so big. You brought exercise to a new level at Woodland Pond. My sore muscles can attest to that, and so can yours. Tell us about the classes you offer in independent living and in the health center.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit of different classes here that I offer. I try to, put different components into each class. So I think here in independent, I have 6 fitness classes, water aerobics, stretch and strengthen, balance and stability, chair yoga and Tai Chi, circuit flow, and I'm missing one. Resistance bands. Yeah. So, I try to, do a full body workout in each one of them. Again, each one, focuses on a different, area, whether it being, strength training, muscle endurance, mobility, range of motion, balance. I would say most of the classes are, 40 to 45 minutes long. They could go a little bit longer. So water aerobics, I offer 3 days a week, in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's in the pool, of course. And we use the water weights. Start out with a warm up, get the cardio going, get the heart rate involved, and then we go with some strength training exercises, arms, legs. We do a abdominal segment. So again, full body workout. Stretch and strengthen, which we had today, is here in the pack. It's probably the most intense class that I offer, Most of the exercises are done standing, but you can also do them sitting. We use the free weights. Same thing. We start with a warm up and then work through a full body routine. Let's see. We also have chair yoga, which we also had today. That's, more for beginners, but, advanced can also join us. It's pretty much all seated in the chair. We go through some yoga poses, some stretching, really working on our flexibility and range of motion. Circuit flow. Right now, I only have that one time a week. I'd like to add it, more, but the schedule really doesn't allow for it right now. So I'm working on that. But circuit flow, it's here in the pack on Fridays. It's just a series of exercises at different stations we cycle through, and I try to mimic the exercises after activities that we do throughout our daily, routine. I think it's important to keep those muscles, strong, keep the range of motion. So that class has really started to take off. So I'd like to add it a second time. And balance and stability. I think that's one of the most important classes for us, preventing falls. A lot of us, or not all of us, but we start to, lose our strength in our legs. So that class helps, keep the legs strong, keep our core strong, keep our stability, keep a nice strong foundation, keeps us upright. So yeah, if you haven't, participated in any of the classes, feel free to come down. We can, modify some of the exercises to, if you're not able to do a specific one, we can make changes. So, feel free to come down and give them a try. As far as the health center, I go to Garden View twice a week, and I go to assisted living in the Great Room twice a week. I would like to get over there more. Again, the schedule makes it tough for me too. I know the residents there really enjoy the classes. Most of the classes are based in the chair, as the residents rely more on, canes, rollators, wheelchairs. So just, for safety purposes, I like to stay in the chair. We will do some standing, but majority of it is in the chair. And again, I'll do some chair yoga, some strengthening, some core exercises, that sort of stuff.
If you want to just check out the classes, Woodland Pond's YouTube channel has, not only will have this interview, but has Matt's classes up there. And in a lot of the classes, if you look all the way in the corner, that's my bald head because I'm even in the front, and you'll see me there. But it's a good way to just preview and see what
in the corner over there. Yep, yep.
Now you got it. It's a good way to preview to see if it's a class you might like. Yeah. Is it a challenge to create a curriculum for residents who are all at different levels?
So I would say yes and no. I know when I first accepted the job here, that was like one of the first things that I was just always think about is how can I create the classes to make everybody feel, involved and be able to participate in. But I quickly learned that all of you are still pretty active and strong and are able to keep up with the classes. So I would say it hasn't been too much of a challenge. There were a few times, but again, we can make modifications and, changes to the exercises. So, if you're not able to do squats, there's various other ways to still work the same muscles without squatting down. Some of us have back pain, knee pain, hip pain. So I'm able to, work around it. So I would say it hasn't been too much of a challenge for me.
Good. And some of us have all those pains. So
yes. Me too. I wake up some mornings with that.
Yes. I felt better when you told me that one morning.
Yes.
Okay. I don't mean in bed. I mean, we got here. I saw the look in your face. No, we were doing exercise class, and I'm fine now, but I had a back pain, and I was telling Matt about it, and he said, I get back pains too. And I felt good about that. Not that you have back pain, but I felt good about the fact that I'm not the only one, that you experience this.
We all get aches and pains. So
yeah. Okay. Next question is, tell us about the personal training you do in the gym here.
Yeah, so I offer personal training in the fitness center here. That's really picked up over the last few months. I offer 30-minute sessions up to an hour, whatever the resident would like. I feel like a half hour usually is plenty of time for us to get through a full body workout. I know Paul's been seeing me, so he's enjoyed it. I try to incorporate, what we have in the fitness center. So we have the strength training machines, the cardio machines, weights, kettlebells, medicine balls. We have the pulley machine. So usually the first, session or two with the resident, we discuss what they're looking for, what their goals are. And then I try to create a program based off of that. And then we'll, slowly ramp things up over time. A half hour session is $15. A full hour is $30. And it gets charged to your monthly statement. But yeah, it's in the fitness center. You can sign up with me directly, or you could let Lisa or Marissa know at the desk and they'll send me an email and then I'll reach out to you.
And you create a personalized program for that person?
Yeah. So, again, the first session or two, and, I'm getting to know the resident, getting to know, their health history, making sure, of things that I should know, surgeries, injuries in the past, so I could work around that to make sure the program is safe. And then just get an idea of what they're trying to achieve, whether it's strength or more balance, range of motion, and then putting together a program based off of that.
Okay. Well, my spouse, Fred, still wears his gold medal for winning the ping pong Olympics here at Woodland Pond. He will not give it up.
All right.
So
he earned it.
He earned it. Do you have plans for more Olympic events here in the future?
Yeah, of course. I thought it went really well. It was a big hit. I didn't know about the events you guys did in the past until I spoke with Gretchen. So I thought it would be a great idea to have some Olympic events here. I know I did pool relays in the pool. Some races that went well, and then we had a ping pong tournament here in the pack that went really well. I think we had 12 or 14 residents play, and then a lot of spectators. So I believe the Winter Olympics are next year. So we'll try to do something then. And then the Summer Olympics are not till 2028. So we have time to, brainstorm. If you guys have ideas or would like to, do a certain event, let me know. But I have a couple other ideas that I have written down. So, when the time comes, we'll see. But yeah, I would love to, do some more Olympic events here.
Great. Yep. Well, here's the question everyone's wondering. How do you envision exercise changing at Woodland Pond after the upcoming renovation and expansion are completed?
Yeah, so that's pretty much been the talk here the last couple of months. I would say 6 or 7 months. I can't wait. I'm really excited for the expansion. Right now, Woodland Pond is pretty full. We have so many residents, and as soon as they move in, they're coming down and, getting involved in the exercise classes, coming down to the gym. So the expansion will just give us more space. We'll have our own fitness and wellness wing. The pack here, that'll just be dedicated for fitness, which will be great for our schedule, because right now, one of the challenges, the pack is open in the morning for classes. And then it's difficult to have afternoon classes because there's committees and groups and activities that meet in here. Same with the art studio and the classroom. So just having, this room, we'll be able to have exercise classes all throughout the day. I mean, residents have different schedules. I mean, some of us are morning people, some of us aren't. So being able to offer classes in the afternoon here, I think will be great. And then, the fitness center, that'll become larger. The machines won't be on top of each other. It won't feel so busy in there when there's only 3 or 4 of us in there. So, yeah, I think it'll be great. And we'll also have the fitness lounge. So that'll give, a chance to, socialize before and after classes instead of, just right out here in the hallway. So I'm excited for the expansion. I think we really need, a bigger area. We'll be able to purchase different machines, different equipment, have an area just dedicated for stretching. So, nobody's right in the middle of the floor in there when somebody else walks in. So I'm excited. I think, it'll be a good thing for us. So
I'm looking forward to the massage room. And I hear there's going to be a portable pickleball court in here.
yes, so this room we'll have a pickleball court that, we can put the net up, take the net down, and then we'll have our fitness classes here. So they will, redesign the room a bit. I'm not sure, of all the details, but yeah, there will be indoor pickleball. So if that's something you're looking or interested in, feel free to come down. I also, there is a pickleball trip the end of this month on the 30th. So if you would like to sign up, feel free to, contact me. It's a trip to Wappingers Falls. We'll play for a few hours and yeah, it'll be fun. We'll see how it goes.
Well, something I didn't know about you, Matt, was you're a really good writer. I can't wait every month for the Woodland Life to read Matt's articles. I think they're really well written. Hopefully, you really wrote them and you didn't just steal them.
Oh no, I write them.
Okay.
I write them.
They're really well written and on really interesting topics. How do you decide what to write about every month?
Yeah, so believe it or not, going through school, I used to love English class, writing. So I still like to do it from time to time. As far as the topics, I I either get them, from a question that a resident brought up during a fitness class that I think is important for us all to know about. So, I'll write about something like that. Or, each month is dedicated to a different awareness. So, you know, all the awarenesses are important, but if it's something related towards fitness or health, sometimes I'll pick that and, write about that. So I think a few of them I've had out in the past, brain health, heart health, that sort of stuff. And other times just something that I come across that I think is important that we should all know about. So I'll put it out, and I'm glad that you guys read it. I've had positive feedback, so I definitely look to keep it going. I started a few months ago. If you go in the fitness center under the TV, there's some brochures. I started writing some fitness brochures on different topics. So pop in there one day, take a look. You could take them there for you, and then if you would like a certain topic, I'll definitely open to writing one. I think right now I have a posture brochure. It goes over a couple different things. Some exercises are in there that we could do each day. There's a shoulder brochure. Shoulders are pretty common. Injuries are common. So, take a look. It kind of goes over the anatomy of the shoulder, exercises we could do. And then there's a few other ones. So, yeah, I enjoy writing. I'm glad that I have positive feedback from, my articles, and I look to keep, doing them. So,
Yeah, we'll get to the questions at the end. Hold your questions till the end. And the last one was about stress, I believe. The last article.
The newsletter?
Exercising to relieve stress.
Oh, yeah, yep. The effective
Yeah.
exercise on stress.
stress.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was
it was very good. Okay. What do you enjoy most about your position here at Woodland Pond besides teaching me?
So I really enjoy, just being able to work with all of you, all of the residents, and knowing that, I'm making a positive impact on everyone's life, and health. Really enjoy the interactions that I have with everyone, getting to know everyone, their background, where they come from, just, being able to have that, communication with everyone, and, just knowing that my classes are, improving everyone's health. So I really enjoy that. I hope, you guys enjoy it, and I look to keep, putting out good content for all of us. So.
Well, yes, you're very well appreciated here. I have never heard anybody say anything but good things about you. So you're
Thank you.
very much apprecited.
There's got to be one bad. Somebody come clean.
No.
I know. He's at school, so.
What do you find a challenge in your position here besides teaching me? And what have you learned?
Let's see. I mean, it's really not that challenging, I find. I mean, there's been a few things I would say, the schedule, trying to accommodate everyone's needs. Like I said earlier, we all, enjoy working out in a different way, whether, it's hiking or swimming, strength training, yoga, that sort of stuff. So just trying to, create a schedule to, accommodate everyone. I've had a lot of residents approach me about, adding, Pilates or kickboxing or something like that, but which we might add. Um but just trying to fit everything into the schedule. I mean, right now the mornings are pretty much, dedicated to the classes here in the pack, but then like I said, in the afternoon it's tough to have classes. So that's been a challenge, just trying to, accommodate everyone. And I would say another challenge is, when I'm doing, a one-on-one session in the fitness center, usually that time is meant, it's more private, it's one-on-one work, but the fitness center is always open, so anybody can come in at any time and work out. So I find it could be challenging if I'm working with someone one-on-one and then, others come in, it kind of takes away from that private session. So again, with the expansion, I'm hoping to have a little more space, to give more of that private time towards the, residents. So other than that, I think that's really the two challenges I've had, but I've been able to work around it. So I think that's
Good. As was mentioned, you brought Cash, your son, to Woodland Pond, but you have another younger son.
yes.
So when do we get to meet him?
Yeah, so I mean, I would love to bring him as he's still technically a baby. He's only 2, but you wouldn't think he's 2 with how he, yeah. So, um, yeah, I would love to bring him. I just don't know if he would be able to make the whole day. He still takes naps, and then he's not potty trained yet. So once we get those 2 things accomplished, then I'd love to bring him. I think if I brought him now, it would just be too much to, do the classes and keep an eye on him. But no, I would love to bring him. I know my older son, he loves coming here. He loves the attention. So um I'm looking forward to bringing my younger son. His name is Crew, by the way. Crew.
Because I want Cash.
The older one is Cash.
The older one's Cash.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cash and Crew.
The younger one's Crew.
Yeah, so yeah, once he's able to survive the day without a nap, I'll bring him.
Great. Well, since it's your 1-year anniversary, we have a little certificate.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations to Matt Romer, Athletic Director at Woodland Pond, 1-year anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
Now's the time everyone's been waiting for. Questions?
I have found that I can do the exercises on the TV upstairs, and it doesn't matter what I'm wearing, thank goodness, but I can do it and follow you very well from my own apartment. So I want you to know that there are probably more people like me who do that.
Yes, no, thank you for watching the classes from home. That's a great thing about the classes here. We're able to, record them and play them through Woodland Pond TV. So I know there's other residents who watch from home. I know not everyone, likes to come down and work out in a group. So, I hope, you continue watching from home. You'll still get the same benefits from, the exercises from home. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Yeah.
Matt, before you came here, did you have any experience working with seniors? Because everybody likes you and you seem to really connect with people. So I'm wondering, did you work with seniors before you came here?
Yeah. So, when I was in high school, early college, I did work at some of the local fitness centers around here, the gyms. So I did work with seniors in that setting. And as well as after, I worked in a physical therapy office. So I've really worked with all ages, but mostly, older adult seniors. So yeah, I would say, 5 or 6 years of, experience working with, seniors. So I enjoy it. It's fun. So.
Matt, I know you just received a certificate in silver sneakers. What kind of ideas did you learn from that? Do you incorporate some of those ideas into your exercise programs?
Yeah, so it's called the Silver Sneakers program. It's for older adults, I think 65 and older, and it's covered through Medicare. Um, it was a pretty, long course that I took, but I learned quite a bit from it, from, just creating the classes to be more safe. And I took other ideas that I have started to incorporate in the classes and then, looking to add more into the classes. They have a ton of different classes and, they ask for you to get certified in each class. So that's something I'm looking to do in the future. Right now, I just, got the main, initial certification, but then you can get certified to instruct, like splash. That's what they call it. But here we call it water aerobics, and it'll teach you different exercises. Same thing with strength training, circuit classes. So I'm looking to, add those to my certificate and then incorporate them for our classes as well.
Having had my career in experimental physics, I discovered that some of the classes are a very good way to discover what parts of your body you have.
Yes. There's muscles that you don't know that you feel the next day and you're like, I didn't know that was there. So yes.
I know nothing about pickleball, but I would like to learn how to score in pickleball. I'm wondering if you could prepare a pamphlet or some kind of brochure that should tell you how to go about learning pickleball, learning how to score at least.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could definitely do that. I know pickleball has become a really popular sport amongst, seniors. So especially here when we add our pickleball court. But yeah, I could definitely write up, a brochure, a pamphlet on, the rules and ways to score and whatnot. So yeah, I could work on that.
Great.
Yep.
Few weeks ago, I was finishing my workout on the equipment, and you walked in with your older son. So I asked the older son, do you exercise? And I thought, Bernice, this is a dumb question. He dropped to the floor and did 5 push-ups and sprang up. That answered my question. But I have to say, since you've been here, I'm 102, but you have improved my exercise where I don't depend on my walker so much and I can get around in my equipment better thanks to you.
Oh no, I'm glad that,
He's also taught me to use some other equipment with muscles that I'm not using. So I'm using new muscles,
yes.
which is a great advantage. And
Yes. And you've been consistent. You've been down. I see you every week down there. So no, that's good. Again, exercise is good for us. It doesn't matter what age we are, our body is meant to move, when we stay still, everything tightens up. We lose our range of motion. So
even at my age, it can improve. Usually you think, well, your muscles are pretty set and it's not going to change, but they do.
Oh no. Yeah, no, they change for sure.
As you know, one of the biggest hazards of people in our age group is falls. And our lives can totally change in literally seconds as we fall down.
Yes.
And although I think your classes do a great job of helping us to improve our core, our strength, and so forth, so that we stay upright, there are a lot of people here who don't come to our classes who could still use some instruction. Maybe low impact, or maybe just how to avoid falls. Is there any way that you could find a way to put some kind of a maybe short-term course in, and we could promote it to the people who don't actually want to exercise but want to learn how not to fall?
Yeah, for sure. I know there's a lot of residents who, haven't participated in our fitness classes. So I actually have thought about adding, even if it's like a 20 to 30 minute, class of different style workouts, balance. I know an hour can kind of be long. So just like shorten the class and offer it, hoping that, residents come down that don't partake in the classes. I've also been thinking about just recording some classes on my own time and adding that to YouTube, and they can play, the videos on the weekends or later in the afternoon. So yes, I know falling is definitely, preventing falling is important for us. So yeah, I could work on, putting together a shortened version of what we do to allow others to, get involved.
Some of the classes are recorded because, I mean, anything that gets recorded can be
Yeah, so
uploaded directly to YouTube.
yeah, I think there's a video of every class so far. We try to, update the recording every few months. I believe next week we're going to record a new set of classes. So, and to get the classes, they are on YouTube. If you have trouble finding the class, just let me know. I can just email you the link, and all you got to do is click it and it'll just take you to the video. So
Do you think, Matt, that they would ever put a punching bag in the fitness center and we could learn boxing?
yeah, so I've had a few residents ask about a punching bag. So right now, if we put that in the fitness center, there's no room for it. It is on the list. I spoke with Dave about it, because he's in charge of all of this, expansion and renovation. So, there's a couple different ideas. I mean, if more people are interested in a, punching bag, that's something we could definitely add. I mean, I know a little bit about boxing, not too much, but I'm always willing to learn new things. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I'm open to it. So I'll keep it in mind, and we'll see what happens.
I think those suggestions can go directly to the planning group. There is planning interest groups that you can give feedback to the planners for the expansion. By the way, the YouTube videos, watching them doesn't help you very much, does it?
Well, you can watch them all day, but you got to follow along for the benefits.
This may not be a question for you, Matt. It may be for Terrell, but when you go on the YouTube channel, it's not in any order.
Yeah, so I just spoke with Jason about it because it's all,
Good.
scrambled up. What you can do is, click on Woodland Pond's, YouTube page, and over to the right, more middle, but to the right, there's a little search icon. If you just click the search button and just type in Matt, it brings up all the classes. Because yeah, if we haven't recorded a class in a while, you have to just endlessly scroll till you find one. So, but yeah, if you just hit search on the Woodland Pond page, just type in Matt, it comes right up.
That's it.
Actually, it was Mary's. Mary had a question earlier. Do you know the exercise we do where we put the weight here and then we do
Yep.
that? Mary wondered if anyone ever knocked themselves out when they did that.
Not yet, and I hope it doesn't happen. But that's honestly, I'm always a little nervous to do that one because it's overhead, and if you hit your head or drop the weight. So, but a lot of us enjoy it, so I have a lot of trust in you guys to not drop the weight. But I don't know, but no, it's a good exercise. It works our triceps, so again, I trust you guys.
We have some more questions over here.
Man, I just had vertigo and I got rid of it with the exercises on the bed.
Yep.
But I have the after effects from it. The nurses told me there have been 2 other residents here who've had it very recently. So I've been researching what to do. Are you familiar with those exercises?
Not too much. I know my mom, she actually has vertigo, so she's spoken to me a few times about
Yeah.
exercising. But I know anything like tipping forward is a no-no. So,
slow and it's gotten better,
yeah.
but I think some people are really not sure what to do with it, is what I found out from the nurse too. And there are definitely exercises to do right away.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not too familiar with it. I mean, it's something that I can do a little research on, but I typically know, physical therapists are, more in that line of work, but that's something I could definitely, look at. But I am aware of a few other residents who have had, an episode. So,
Jill, Jeffrey and I each have had benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. And we found a fabulous physical therapist in Goshen who specializes in this. And she is fabulous. She has that. It's a little bit of a drive, but if you see me afterwards, I'll give you her information. And we went up to a few sessions and we're cured.
It's amazing.
the drive would be worth it then,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When we exercise with the weights, are we supposed to like go forward? In other words, do more? Like say if you're doing 2, the goal is to do 3, or doesn't it matter? Is it
You mean
important?
the weight, the
Yeah, in other
pounds,
words,
the
progress.
pounds?
Let's say you're using 2 and goes, in other words.
Yeah. So typically in, strength training, you want to, work your way up. You want to challenge your muscles. So if you've just been using this, same weights for a long time, you hit a plateau. So yeah, you want to use the same weight for, a few workouts, but then work your way up. I mean, I wouldn't, especially in our stretch and strengthening class, I think I use like 8-pound weights, but I wouldn't go any more than, like 10 pounds, but that would take a while to work up to. But yeah, you want to, gradually build up. So yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to take 2 different sets of weights because, sometimes our legs are stronger than our arms. So when we're doing our squats, use the heavier weight. When we do our arms and shoulders, use the lighter weight. So yeah, I would work your way up.
Any other questions?
I'll just make an announcement. We typically try to have a council connections once a month, almost every month. I mean, we had successfully done that for several years. On occasion, we have 2 a month. On June, we will have 2 events. So just look at the calendar. It's going to be announced in the newsletter. Okay? And no other questions?
Thank you. Can I announce June 5th Council Connection? Can I announce what's happening June 5th Council Connection? Oh, just wait till they get it? Okay. Okay. So the next one is June 5th, and you all want to come to this. You don't want to miss this one. Okay. Tyler's laughing in the back. It's going to be a good one. All right. Well, thank you, Matt, and thank you, audience. It's been informative and very entertaining.
Yes. Thank you. And again, I want to just say thank you for, letting me get this opportunity to work here at Woodland Pond and, work with you guys and get to know everyone. So I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And, I'm excited for the future. So again, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow at class. Oh, you gotta have fun, so I enjoy it, so yes. It's okay, yeah, that's why we have the screening camera, so, that's fine, That's. We're gonna do different like that too. It's actually, they're not as tough as you think. They come clean. No, trust me, they look tough, but they're babies. It's in the fitness center. You'll see them. There's 4 different brochures. They're all, on different topics. But yeah, feel free to take one. Like for you guys. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. It's totally different. Up here the door. On the road, fitness class. Gotta go. Well, I thought there would be more questions.